What's your opinion on canoes?
Douche or non-douche? Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. So this week's video we want to talk about childish, pettiness, and selfishness in general.
So, like when it comes to like being petty, essentially what you're doing is, it's an undue concern of trivial matters. Okay, especially when it comes to like small things. Okay, so a lot of times you see people being petty when their pride's on the line. For example, if they say something that's completely asinine, out to left field type thing, and someone goes to say, "Hey, you're wrong. This is what it actually is." Some people will act out in a pettiness because they can't admit to that wrong statement or wrongdoing or whatever it is that they did, or they can't admit to having a incorrect mindset in the sense of, what is morally considered right and wrong and what is factually considered right and wrong. Like you and I, we understand pretty well that right and wrong, there is gray areas. In a sense, there are certain things that are grouped as right, so not one thing is right. There's like 10 things that are right, and vice versa for wrong. But in some cases, you can be factually right and wrong. It's only one. And if you correct people on that, some people will get petty and they'll either call you names, they'll fight you, they'll run a slander campaign through like third person gossip parties just to be a fucking dink. And that's just them being childish and petty in this case. I think we all can see examples of that.
Yeah, like how we were asking the question at the beginning of this video, before the intro. The reason we asked that question is because we've been through different things like that, where people have been awful to us and have treated us like crap for no reason. Whether that be because they're just bullies, they're jealous, they're just, petty people that want to try and find different things to get at you for, even if you haven't even done anything. If you were just nice to them in general, and somehow, some way they picked at things, and
or if you have good qualities about you and they don't have those qualities, so they need to bash you or something like that to knock you down. Yeah, and like you always see people too where like you'll do something good, or like let's say you like just, these are little examples, but like let's say you get a haircut and you're walking into work or something like that, and people see you and notice you and they go, stupid slut. Or they'll be like, or in guys' cases, they'll just be like, douche.
But I mean, like, if you get a haircut, so you got, I know it's just an example, but like, if you get a haircut, you get a haircut. Like, if you have something new or you look really good that day, some people will be like, hey, you look awesome. Like, what are you doing? And they'll be totally fine. And then other people will be just, they'll literally just like ignore you, pretend that nothing has changed, that you don't look good, that, and they'll treat it like they'll either treat it like it's every other day, like they don't notice, or they're gonna treat it like you're just shit, and they're gonna treat you like shit, and you'll be like, what the fuck, why are you treating me like shit? I haven't done anything to you.
I have a funny example for that.
Okay.
So for the past, I don't know, 6 years, I rocked basically like a mohawk for a haircut. This is actually the first time in a long time I haven't had one. And for like a little bit, I took a break from it. And then I got it back. And somebody, I won't name names obviously, but they also had the same kind of style of hair. And they were like, oh, you're just copying me. And it's like, no, I'm just going back to what I usually have. Because for a little while there, I wasn't.
I've actually seen the pictures from back when you did have the mohawk too. So yeah, you definitely had it way before anyone else did.
So I was like, to me, I was like, okay, like telling me, I'm copying you and all that stuff. It's like, dude, no, I'm not. I'm doing this before. That person's probably just mad because I had more hair.
So, yeah, with, getting a haircut or whatever, like, some people are going to be jealous, whether it's because you have more hair than them, or more more of something, or it looks better than theirs, or they think it looks better than theirs. And I think not always, but the majority of the time, I do think that it comes down to some sort of jealousy. And I don't know, like, if it's just because they feel like they're just not ever good enough when they probably are. And they think that if somebody else has something better than they do, that just lowers their worth, which is not true, because you have different qualities than somebody else does, and that doesn't lower them.
No, exactly. No, and I hear you. I think it's part of it too is like about embracing what you got. Like, some people have curly hair, some people have straight hair. If you have curly hair, no, you can't rock the same haircuts as people with curly hair.
No,
or with straight hair, I mean.
No.
But that doesn't mean your curly hair is bad.
No, like, you can, but it's always more difficult, and everybody envies what they don't have.
Yeah. Like, if you have, like, you have to find what works, like, for you. Like, you have to have the haircuts that work for you. Like, for myself, I'm weird. I have curly hair when it gets long, but if I have, like, about an inch or so, it stays straight. And I prefer straight hair, so I keep it short, because I prefer straight hair. But if you have curly hair naturally, just rock a hairstyle that works for you. Like, embrace that curly hair. Because people, at the end of the day, at the very end of the day, it's not necessarily always about, like, who has the better haircut or who has the better qualities. Even just broadly. It's about who embraces themselves better. Like, yeah, there's healthy things, like, obviously fit people are going to be a little bit more attractive because they're healthier. It's not necessarily even about the body. The body is the reward for the mindset. And sometimes. And sometimes, yeah. But that, in the healthy ones anyway, they're just embracing healthy lifestyle. And it shows it externally, right? And that's what's attractive about those people. It's not that, it's just the external that's attractive. And
it's everything. Yeah,
you look at these petty people, and, like, they may look good on the outside, but that just makes them a polished turd, because they have this exterior good look, but then on the inside they're not healthy at all, right?
Well, not always, but sometimes the outside is basically trying to look good and cover up what's on the inside.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
It's like they feel like all that they have good about them is the outside, so therefore they can only focus and work on the outside, whereas, I don't know, maybe they feel like it takes too much work to work on the stuff inside.
Well, I mean, and both have its merits. Like, working on the inside, it's not easy. I mean, working on the outside is not necessarily easy either, though, so...
No, but I think people seem to think that it's easier for the outside.
Yeah. But, even on that comment, like, it's funny, because then you go to, like gyms and things like that, and there's people out there, there's bigger people out there, maybe for a long time they lived an unhealthy lifestyle, but they're they're wanting to change it, and they're going to the gym to try to get healthy, and they're eating better, and they're working out to fix the mistakes that they made when it came to that stuff. And they're trying. Like, I've seen some people in there that they're heavier set. I'm not going to sugarcoat it there, but they are working harder in that gym than most of the fit people are. And I gotta give them kudos, right? Like, first of all, you're going into a place where there's possible body shaming, because you're there for physical, right, improvement, and which is insecure enough as it is. Plus, if you have lack of knowledge when it comes to working out, you're gonna feel insecure. These bigger people that are going in there, like, kudos to them. Keep going, keep doing your thing, because you are gonna be healthy. You are gonna look fucking awesome. And anybody who comes along and says petty ass, childish fucking insults to you, they can, I don't know, slip and fall on a treadmill.
No, it's true. It's true.
To hell with them.
Nobody should be making fun of anyone at the gym. Just, whether you're a bigger person, a smaller person, medium size, whatever, everyone is welcome at the gym. Yep. If there's someone small there, like, okay, like, for instance, I've had it happen to me, where people would always say, like, not people at the gym, just people in general, like, whether I knew them or whatever. And I'd say, hey, I'm going to the gym. And they'd be like, why? For what? You're tiny. And I'm just like, there's more reason. Like, you don't just go to the gym just to lose weight, okay? Like, and I know everybody seems to think that that's why. And I'm like, no, I go there to stay healthy, to stay fit,
It's an activity. It's
exactly
part of being fit and healthy is
it's
being active.
healthy, moving your body. But people don't seem to understand this, and usually it's like older generations that don't seem to understand it. They just think, oh, well, you're small, you don't need the gym. It's like, I may be small, I may look fit, but you don't know if I'm healthy on the inside.
Yeah, I was just gonna say there's a difference too. Sometimes smaller people, they're just as unhealthy as the bigger ones on the inside because they're eating like garbage. And for some reason, their genetics have just decided that they're going to stay tiny.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot
and that's the thing. Just because like if you're bigger doesn't mean you're unhealthy, and if you're smaller doesn't mean you're
healthy. Yeah.
Healthy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just...
I've met smaller like women on the petite side that hate being as small as they are. Like, they don't want to be big, but they want to put on some muscle. They want to have, you know, they don't want their hip bones to be sticking out as much as they do.
Right, but again,
whatever.
everybody envies what they don't have.
Yeah.
And you just kind of have to accept what you've got, and like, don't let these like negative people tear you down, especially if you're like starting at the gym or regardless of your size, it doesn't matter, you know. You just kind of have to keep on going. Like, honestly too, if those people are saying shit to you, of you, about you, around you, whatever, it says a lot more about them than it does you. Mm-hmm. So I mean,
well, how you react to those comments is what says about you. Mm-hmm. And how they make those comments says about them. You're absolutely right. I completely agree with you on that. And at the end of the day, it's about being healthy. Doesn't matter. Like, I'm not the most healthy person, but I've gotten a lot better. Mm-hmm. But you know, that came through effort. And changing your mindset is the same as changing your physical set. You know, you have to put in, you have to exercise your brain. You have to put in the work. And some people just don't want to do that because they're lazy and selfish, and they just want everything to be their little way, and they
basically want to take it from other people and somehow
they think you can take from others to put yourself up. You can't. The only person who can put yourself up is yourself. Mm-hmm.
But they don't understand this.
So they'd rather pull people down.
They'd rather take the easy, lazy way out. Because the harder way, though, gets you higher up, and it fixes the root issues. Mm-hmm.
No, absolutely, and that's where it matters, right? You know, big tall trees have healthy roots. Mm-hmm. And these other people, they're just crab apples. But, and even too, like, even all of that, like, it really boils down to, like, a selfishness, I think, anyway. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, they're so, like, concerned innerly. Mm-hmm. It's like if it doesn't suit me, if it's not mine, if it's not this, it's not, there's my way or the highway, 1,000%. Like, sometimes my way or the highway is healthy, because sometimes you need to pull yourself out of bad situations.
Right.
But people who are like my way or the highway in a healthy way, they're very much aware there's other cars on the road.
Yeah, they're not
they're not saying my highway, my way.
Well, they're not taking from other people. They're lifting themselves up, but they're also not taking from others, and they'll help and lift other people up as well. Yeah, the only thing they don't do when it comes to other people is tolerate bullshit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's good. But like, it's just don't take from other people just to lift yourself up. That's technically bullying. So how about let's just not? How about let's just, if you're jealous of somebody, like, instead of being jealous, why don't you, I don't know, like, watch what they do and see if you can do that as well. Or ask them, hey, how do you do this? Or how do you get this? And chances are that person's going to understand and be more than happy and willing to give you some tips. Like, it's not a bad thing. You don't need to be an asshole and a bully and take from other people to raise yourself up. That's just immaturity, selfishness, entitlement, like, everything. Like, the world doesn't owe you shit. No. And, like, I don't take a lot of things from, like, old day sayings or, like, advice, because I find a lot of it be archaic and out of date. But one thing I do take is, like, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. If you're at the gym or at work or at wherever and you're seeing somebody, if you can't think of something nice to say to that person, just leave them alone. Yeah, like, why do you have to insert yourself in there? No. You don't have to make negative comments. If you can't think of if you can't say something good or positive, like, you don't have to stick to yourself. Just literally shut up. But don't just, like I said, don't be jealous. Don't judge these people because whether you're like, oh, they're not as good as me, or don't be jealous because somebody has something you want or looks the way you want to look or something like that. Like, don't be such a... And usually, people are usually jealous when it's material things. It's not normally... Like, when you're humble and you have all these good things inside you, you literally don't see it that way. You don't get, like, super jealous over these things. You look at it in a different sense. You look at it as in, like, I wonder how that girl or that guy did that thing or made their whatever hair look that way, or where they find their clothes or whatever, you know, and then they ask that person for tips. That's what a humble person does. That's what a good person does. That's what a non-bully does, a non-jealous person does. Like, it's not that hard. You just have to switch your mindset, I guess. Like,
well, it's even like
be confident in yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, like you look at the good examples of that. I feel like is like myself as a photographer. I don't know too many other photographers personally. I know a couple, but I don't know a whole bunch. But like I reach out to like YouTube and stuff like that. If I see photos, I'm like, how did they do that? Google. How did they do that? I go find out because like you know, I don't just go like, oh, fucking loser.
No, because what good does that do for anybody? That doesn't make that person feel good, even though they may not know. But it also doesn't make you feel good. Like,
but it doesn't help anybody. It's just it's you trying to band-aid your own insecurities, and that doesn't work. It's like I said, my photography, link in the description below. I do all that stuff with your stuff, and like when you're learning about healthy ways of eating and managing anxiety, link in description below. You go to YouTube, you go to knowledgeable people, you find them, whether it's in person or online or whatever, and you take their information and you fill in the gaps in your information, and then you build off of that.
Well, it's better that way. Why would you not do it that way? It blows my mind.
Well, that's how things get better for everybody.
People down. Yeah, but don't knock people down. There's no point in that.
Yeah.
It doesn't help anybody. Nothing.
No.
It just gets everyone, I guess, in shit and miserable, and like there's no good that comes from it. If you're one of those people, you need to knock it the fuck off and grow up. Yeah,
absolutely. You have to treat knowledge and like humility and everything like that as like a puzzle. Yeah, everybody has their pieces, and what you bring to the table, another person brings to the table, another person brings to the table. If you're all humble and you all contribute, you get to complete the puzzle, and everybody benefits from that, because like I said about you taking information, like taking education, you learn something, you fill in your gaps, but then the next person who has gaps that you know, they take that and they fill their gaps in. And they evolve it, so like it gets passed along in this like group of like educated, humble people, growing and growing and growing, and then the next thing you know, you and a handful of YouTubers, nutritionalists, retailers have created something amazing. Together, because rather than being petty and selfish and childish and beating each other down, you pass along this ball of information and grew it bigger and bigger and bigger. The same thing you look at, like even with photography stuff. You look at my channel. I introduce things to beginners, and then I learn from advanced people, and then I pass it down as I learn it, and then hopefully somebody takes my knowledge and builds on it, and I hope they pass that to somebody. And then I hope whatever I pass on, I hope eventually comes full circle, and I hope I learned something new from something that I started. I think that'd be so cool. But that's growing.
It's growing, and that's humble, and it's humility, and like that's all you need to do. Like there's no reason to be like a freaking 12-year-old trying to knock people down for your own selfish need. Which, I mean, if you're an adult and you're doing that, Jesus Christ. Nobody wants to be around you other than misery.
Right? I mean, come on. Like, my 14-year-old doesn't even do that anymore. If you're... He's 14 and he don't do that.
No.
Yeah. Y'all are doing that. That says a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, if a child is capable of not doing these things, an adult is capable of not doing these things.
100%.
None of us are born petty.
Nope.
So
like, what the
drop it.
Exactly.
Just be a better person. Do better. The only person you should be in competition with is yourself.
Yeah.
So With all that being said, we really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch our video. Hope you took something positive from it. And let us know in the comments below if you have any suggestions for topics, and let us hear about your experiences with pettiness, selfishness, and childishness when it comes to the people around in your life, and what you took positively from that. Remember, positive focus. Subscribe. That bell on. Make sure if you're on mobile that your notification settings are on as well so you don't miss any of our videos. And hit this like button. Okay, really helps us out. We appreciate it. Share this with your friends. And don't forget, keep it simple. Stay humble. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye. Hey, what's your opinion on canoes?
Douche or non-douche?
Let's try that one more time. So, halfway through the question, don't break.
Sorry, I didn't think you were gonna ask me. I thought you were gonna ask them.
I'm gonna ask you because
To deny me of the
can't use that because we'll get monetized.
when you ran away. Oh fuck, she looks all plump and inky.
What? Oh. Yeah, I don't know. It's a cool atmosphere.
Not fair to deny me of the mess. Okay.
Ready?
Not really, but go.
Ready? Set.
Ready, steady, go.
Go! Okay.
If you don't get it right, I'm gonna start singing
Blah.
again. I'll sing.
Blah, blah, blah.
It's not fair.
And with all that being said, we really appreciate you guys taking the time to check out the video. We're gonna take 3.
To deny